Hey guys, so today I figured I'd talk about different things that you can do to try to prevent the loss of your horse. A lot of people have lost their horse in the riverbed and also in endurance. This topic has come up where horses get out in camp and they take off during the night and you can't find them and stuff. So there's several different options that you can do. There's things that you can buy. There's something called the Whistle for dogs. Whistle 3, I think, is their latest model. It's a little thingy that you attach to their regular collar, and it goes by Wi-Fi when you're at home and stuff, and then it connects by cell and satellite. GPS when you're out and about. It can track a whole bunch of different things, and there is a subscription needed. So that is probably, like the best thing that you can do or something, but pricey. Then there's also other tracking devices that you can get that have that use GPS or use cell or something like that. GPS is always good because obviously if you're out and about in some of the trails, there's no cell reception. So GPS, satellite would be better. And then there are things like tags. I bought a bunch of these dog tags from Amazon, and I got a whole bunch of them, got them at discount, and you can choose different shapes and sizes and all that and what you want on there. What I have on Lasair's is his name on one side, and the other side I think I have my name, because the question is, if I find your horse, how do I know that this horse belongs to you? So if his tag says Don Champion and I show my ID as Don Champion, then that's better, because it's come up before where other people try to claim your lost pet, stuff like that, and then you can't verify that they are the actual owners. So I think mine says Don Champion, my phone number, my husband's phone number, and then his microchip ID number. So he is microchipped. They just implanted the microchip in their nuchal ligament, so it doesn't move around or anything. And they usually give you a little blue tag, little blue plastic tag with the microchip number and stuff like that on it. I think I've lost that blue tag. When I had the blue tag, I did make a little thin necklace, and you'll see earlier pictures. He was always wearing this little necklace, and it was just this thin cord that would totally break if it got caught up on something, which it never did. But it would totally break if it did. But it was just there just in case, because a lot of people don't think to check for microchip on a horse. And then there's brands, they brand on their neck or their butt and stuff. I haven't branded Lasair, but that's an option. I've heard that freeze brand doesn't hurt too much, but I don't know. Different ways to ID your horse and stuff is always good. Oh, the little dog tags, I have them on his halter, his travel halter, and his bridle and his saddle. So, and if I wanted to, I could make him a necklace too. When you're riding out and about, they do also sell something called rhythm beads, and it's a necklace basically for the horse, and you can have bells or whatever on it, and it jingles as you go. So basically, they call it the rhythm beads because as you're trotting, it'll ding, 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 and it'll like kind of do this little jingle thing. So you can do rhythm beads, and I like the rhythm beads when we were down there in the spring and we're running into a ton of wildlife, herds of pigs with the little piglets and stuff. And that's kind of dangerous because they got their babies, so they could be more protective. And I wanted to alert the wildlife that we're coming, instead of just stumbling up upon them and then possibly getting attacked for it. So the rhythm beads are cool. And then if the horse gets lost, they jingle as they go. So that's something. And, please post up whatever other ideas that you have to keep your horse safe. Some people, I always keep my phone on my, you'll see I wear that little runner's belt the runner's pack around my waist. I always wear that, and that's where my phone always is. There's a little not controversy, but some people like to have it on their saddle, because if it's in your saddle and the horse takes off, then you can use if you have an iPhone, you can use the Find My Phone app and basically use the phone's GPS to find your horse, right? But then that also means that you're left without a phone to call for help, because you're now on the ground, your horse is taken off. Depending on how deep you are in the riverbed, it might take you a while to hoof it back out. But that's an idea. You can do that. If you have a second phone, that'll be good. Put one phone in the saddle and one phone on yourself, like probably, well, anyway, so you can figure out, different variations of that. And then the other thing is to teach your horse to come when they're called. A lot of horses don't even know that. I did it because, I don't know, I'm used to training dogs, and so I like it when my dogs come when I call, so I like it when Lasair comes when I call. An easy way to do this is every time I fed him, I always started whistling. I just start whistling, and then I call to him and stuff like that. I shake the grain bucket, so then he starts associating that sound with feeding time, with come and stuff like that, so then he'll come. He's eating right now in that corner, and when I whistled, he perked up and looked at me, and then was like, oh, she's talking to that weird little camera thing again. Okay, I'm just gonna keep eating. But teach him to come. The other thing that I've done training wise is I'm out in the riverbed by myself all the time for the past 10 years. Lasair and I have done so many miles in the riverbed, and we're pretty much always alone, because no one wants to ride with us. So a lot of my videos, well, you'll see some of my videos in the past, I'm on the ground and I'm jogging or whatever, and he's following behind me. I'm not holding on to him. That's all liberty training. Liberty training, you start out in a pen or something and closed and safe, but then you want to take that out in the real world too. So I took it out on the real world on the trails when we go, also to let him get used to seeing that there are times when I'm on the ground and he's loose and he's still expected to stay with me. Get him used to that whole concept, and then when I get off, I'll loosen up his girth, and I'll give him the cue that he can graze, so it's all relaxed. I've noticed that some horses, if you're only ever riding them when you go out, what happens is when you come off or something, they're not used to seeing you on the ground, and they don't know what to do, and they get scared. A lot of times, you'll see it in videos when people come off. Watch the horses. Sometimes when people come off, the horse is like, oh my gosh, what happened? I don't know. And they get scared because the horse came off. They don't know what to do. And then they take off. Then there's, the horses that wanted to get you off. So they, buck and they get you off. And they're like, ha, you're off. And then they take off and they're like, flipping you the bird as they go. So that's something else. But I'm talking about the ones that are scared. Then you see the babysitter horses, the really good or the well-trained ones, the ones that are used to it. You come off and you're hanging or you're dangling or whatever. This lady's, hanging underneath the saddle and all that. And the horse just looks at him and go, okay, whenever you're ready, get up. And they're not, the point is they're not scared that you're all of a sudden on the ground, you came off and all that. They know they're not going to get punished. They know that it's okay. They know that they're supposed to stay. And that's what, it'd be good to let your horse get used to that and get that idea that it's okay that you're on the ground and they're still expected to stay. So I do a lot of that with Lasair when we're out and about, just because I've always been so scared that something will happen and he'll dump me or whatever, and then he'll take off, and I mean that's like everybody's worst nightmare. So that's something I've done it to the point where in the riverbed I walking along and then he's grazing and I'll just keep walking and I'll go out of sight. So I can't even see him anymore, and then I'll whistle to him, and then he comes running, and he comes running around the turn and stuff, and he couldn't see me either, and he was searching for me. And then once he gets to me, obviously I give him lots of carrots and praise. Oh, that's the other thing. When I'm on the ground, I loosen up his girth, I give him carrots and stuff, and I let him know, hey, the party is still here with me, and so you want to stay close to me. And also reinforcing the stay command and the heel command, because he knows heel. So he heals, and he's expected to stay by my thigh, and all that stuff. So all of that does have a practical purpose, and that's what it is, out on the trails, so that he doesn't leave me. And even though a lot of you know, my training is very lax. I'm kind of like, whatever. But I have found that when push came to shove, Lasair did fall back to his training. When at those critical moments, when something happened at the last endurance race that we did, something happened, and I wasn't sure what he was going to do. He wasn't sure what he was supposed to do, and then the training kicked in. And that's when you really know that it was worth the time to do this kind of stuff. So I'll show you real quick, but there's nothing really much to see. Lasair, come here. He's eating. Come here, over here. Can you please not knock over the camera? Come over here. So then that's the other thing. You want to be sure that you can call them away from food. Now, it does help that he's fed all the time, and so he's never starving. And I do have a cookie here for him. So that helps. But yeah, you want to be able to call them away from food. You want to be able to call them away from their friends. Those are things that you can test. How strong is your call? So I'm hoping that, if anything happens, he hears my voice, or he hears me whistle or stuff like that, then he'll come, and he knows that he's supposed to, come back to me. Yeah. Back. Stay. See if you can see him. Stay. Stay. You see him get his mule face? He's like, he hates it when I run away from him. Heel. Heel. Come on, Lasair. He's being all dopey right now, not doing what I'm saying. And that's the thing that I said, that his training is not sharp. It's not sharp when we're just like goofing around and stuff. It probably should be, but I'm so like relaxed and stuff. I'm like, okay, whatever. Sorry, that was all the cookies I had. But when push came to shove, when it came test time, out in the real world, it was sharp. So that's what matters to me. So anyways, hope this helps, and try to make sure that you guys stay safe. There's GPS devices out there, so definitely look into those. I have several GPS devices so I can see my coordinates as well. Trying to describe a location in the riverbed is hard. So I use GPS or maps. If you have your phone, you can pull up your map feature, pull up the satellite view, zoom in, zoom out, whatever. Take screenshots, send it to people to mark the spot, so that other people can then plug it into their maps and look from there. Just, I don't know, stuff like that. So that's all for now, and if you have any other ideas, please share, so we can all try to stay safe. All right? Okay, bye guys. Say bye, Lasair.